A lot to cover. I was about to walk over here because we have a special guest in the studio, and that is Dr. Joe Morris from Mercyhurst University. He is a local political contributor. He's been joining us, as we've been saying, for many different elections over time. So we want to talk right now about voter turnout. And Dr. Morris, do you think the government shutdown could potentially influence people's votes for this municipal election?
Well, there's always that possibility for sure. I mean, this shutdown has really hit communities hard. Particular families are really struggling, as we've seen in recent reports about the influx of people at food banks. Whether or not that translates into municipal elections, I think is anyone's guess. It's hard to imagine that given all of the dynamics we have in each individual local race, that people are going to be voting just on a government shutdown issue. It's really about the dynamics of the race more than anything else.
I did want to ask you, I saw a lot of political experts kind of say that this specific election could kind of be an indicator of what's going to happen at the midterm election. Do you kind of see that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Again, it's a possibility. And the only way I see that is this election being any indication of what's going to happen next year is if we see some sort of widespread movement toward the Republican candidates across the United States or Democratic candidates, then it might be an indication that one party is in a little bit of trouble. But again, given the fact that each race is unique, every district is unique, every candidate is unique, there's so many variables that it's hard to make that generalization.
We've been hearing that so far today, there hasn't been any, chaotic moves, at polling locations. Everything has been, for the most part, we're understanding, pretty smoothly. But what do you feel are some of the biggest races regionally to watch tonight?
I think we have to watch the county executive race. The county executive is so important, but just as important for that county executive race are county council races, because as we all know, having a county executive and a county council that can work together well is really critical. But of course, we also have the mayoral race, and that's always exciting for a community like Erie, really any community, when we're electing essentially a chief executive of our local government. And then last but not least, we have those judicial races, particularly the Supreme Court races, which I do think have national implications.
Maybe just one last for you. I know the turnout's not as big as a presidential election, but just how important are these local elections for the community?
They're incredibly important. These elections have an enormous impact on our day-to-day lives, and unfortunately we've seen fairly low voter turnout historically. In Erie County it's hovering somewhere around 20%. With the addition of mail-in ballots, we're up to mid-30s, which is good, but still pretty low.
Yeah, I was at Erie High earlier today around 4 o'clock. They were at about 16%. That was without the mail-in, but they said it was a little low, but they're hoping to see more with the dinner rush, if you will.
You would certainly hope so.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.